The lady doing the hair at the beginning said I was going to be in a casket, of which I had no idea. David brings out the best in people. Don't you guys know that? David just has this magic power. Look, I know David. I guess I should have asked about his show.
Hello, and welcome to Grave Conversations, the only show where your favorite celebrities get to lie down. I'm your host, David Dastmalchian. Today's guest is someone we hope lives for a very, very long time, a legend in comic book creation. He's also a personal hero of mine, has been for a very long time. He's known for iconic characters like Spawn. He's a co-creator of the legendary character Venom, as well as co-founding Image Comics. He's a leader in toy design, animation, transforming storytelling across many different mediums. Please welcome the legendary Todd McFarlane. Hi, Todd.
David, I'm going to live to be 100, so we still got another 40 years. Don't worry about the first part.
I love it. I'm really honored. Thanks for being here today. How does it feel laying in a casket? Have you ever done it before?
No, you know what? This isn't sort of my vibe here, but it's kind of comfortable. So thanks for the experience. It's awesome.
I think we should jump right in. There is no time to waste. This segment we call Questions You Need to Answer Before You Die, but nobody really calls it what I like to call it, which is Quintabit. What is your stance on boats that are also restaurants?
I've been on a Viking cruise, and they had a dining hall, right? I went there, was the youngest person on the whole trip. Can I tell you the only thing, though? My wife has night terrors almost every night of her life for the last 40 years. And she decided to have one of her ultimate, screaming fits. And it's the only time I ever put a pillow over her face. Where
Todd.
No, because I go, they're gonna, first off, they're gonna think that I'm killing her. This is how crazy her night terrors are. And I just go, we're gonna get kicked off this Viking cruise and we pay way too much money and we don't get our deposit back. So I was like, Wanda, I had it there. She's like, and I went, Wanda, you gotta calm down. We're gonna get kicked off this boat. I don't even know where we're at right now. We gotta just take it easy. But they actually had nice soup.
Todd, really quick, sorry, I don't want to make this about this, but I'm fascinated by night terrors. Does she see the dark figure when she has them, or she just can't move? Is it that
So David, no lie, no lie. She's had this nonstop for 40 years, right? But the first 20 years, it was spiders, right? Mm-hmm. One time she was laying down just like you and I, and then she went, ah! She screamed, and I went, what? And she goes, I can't move. And she's laying there, literally paralyzed in the bed. She goes, I've been webbed, right? Because she always saw spiders up above her, and they were always coming down. But this night, I guess, was a giant one, and it had webbed her. Last 20 years, it's that she thinks she hasn't fed the dog, and that the dog is now dying of starvation. At times, she doesn't recognize me laying next to her in the bed, and I'm a stranger, right?
God.
And so she's done these things where I'll touch her, and she'll go, ah, and then she'll take her fingernails and dig them into my chest, trying to escape, right? Which is okay. Eventually, once she goes through these, and it only lasts maybe 45 seconds, then she falls back to sleep, that quick. My heart's racing, I'm up for the rest of the night. She sleeps like a baby.
Here's my question. When the first 20 years, when she was having the giant web, was that when you were working on Spiderman? Were they spaghetti webs?
Oh, man. You know what? I never put that together. I was actually doing Spiderman.
See? Well, we've opened this interview in grand fashion. One of my favorite starts to ever, because I'm fascinated with you. I love your wife, Wanda. She's such a cool person. And the night terrors. And now I'm getting to connect some of the psychology of this. We'll move on to the next hard-hitting question. Beanbags.
Okay. Yeah, beanbags.
Thoughts?
I like them, right? But let me just tell you, I've been married. We're going to celebrate our 40th anniversary here in a couple weeks. 5 seconds after my wife leaves the house, I instantly turn into a bachelor, right? So beanbag, perfect, right?
Great.
We don't have one. But could I sort of watch TV and draw and sleep in the same beanbag for 4 days while my wife's on a girls' trip? Absolutely.
Do you trust buffets with sneeze guards?
David, I don't mind germs, right?
Okay.
So I think we actually kind of need them.
I know, but the
What- like what-
croutons, if somebody sneezed, I like to know they've been protected.
David,
Yeah.
I do a lot of barbecuing,
Yeah.
right? You know how many times I've dropped meat on the ground and just put it back on the plate? And nobody
one knows the
said
better.
one thing.
My kids are healthier for it.
Yeah, come on, man.
I'm coming to your first LA barbecue. I will be there, and I will be inspecting the meat. I'm a big proponent for therapy. It's Mental Health Awareness
Yeah.
Month. I believe in it. If you were a therapist
Oh, man.
and Bruce Wayne walked into your office,
Yes.
becomes your client, he reveals everything to you, all of his secrets. What therapeutic advice would you give?
I wouldn't. I'd ask him if I could be Robin. What are you talking about? That dude, David, is like my man crush a little bit, right?
Sure.
Because that guy makes $1 gajillion,
Yeah.
right? And then he comes home, and then all the pretty ladies in the block, in the neighborhood go, we want to date you. And he goes, no, that's okay, I'm good. And then he just sits in his chair till about 2 o'clock in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
And then he turns to Alfred and he goes, get me the black suit. I'm gonna go scare the shit out of him, right? And I just go, I completely relate to that guy, right? That I just go, he is exhausted of people scaring others. And he goes, it's time to give them a dose of their own medicine. So you know what? It's time to go scare them tonight. And I
that's
hope,
awesome.
as a matter of fact, let them know I'm coming. It'll make it even better.
Do you have a favorite of Batman's arch enemies?
I am a fan, but not obsessively. Like Joker's too easy, right?
Okay.
I'm not a fan of crazy people
Got it.
because crazy people do crazy things. Let me tell you who I think is one of the great cinematic villains of all time. The stepmom in Cinderella. Because at the end of that movie, you wanted to slit that woman's throat.
She's so awful.
And
yeah.
she didn't lay a finger on that girl,
Yeah,
and
no,
she didn't
she's
raise
terrible.
her voice.
Yeah.
All she did was steal anything of value that she thought meant anything emotionally to that girl.
Sure.
So when the Godfather said, make him an offer he can't refuse, he knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
He was like, so I like the sane bad guys that are calculating and that they know that what they're doing is being a monster and they don't care.
How did you decide you wanted to become a comic book creator? What was that genesis? How did that happen?
I didn't buy my first comic book till I was about 16. I mean, I'd been doodling since I was 5. So for 11 years, I was wandering around, didn't know what to do with it, had 100 different styles. What got me to send in samples, it was the books that I looked at and went, what? I can draw better than that.
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about? That guy's eyes are crooked. I can draw
yeah.
crooked eyeballs.
I can do that.
Right? So over the next 3 years, I sent off about close to 700 samples, got close to 300 rejections. I still have bags and bags of those rejections. And eventually, I think at some point, and I have no knowledge of this, they were all sitting at the editorial meeting, and at the end, somebody went, for the love of God, could somebody give that McFarlane kid a couple pages so that we can stop getting these piles of mail, all of us, so then we'll only have one person getting mail from that kid.
We're going to transition into the next section of the interview, but something that I think makes a perfect transition question is Spawn obviously changed the game. It changed the game for many of us fans and readers, obviously changed the game in your career. And it's a character that is mired in and deals with death and not going softly into that, good night. It's about raging against and fighting against and coming back from and the line between.
David, you're overthinking this.
Okay.
Spawn is essentially me, right? Here's where Batman fails me. I'm gonna go get Joker goes, kills somebody. I'm gonna go get Joker, put him in jail. The system can't hold him. Joker gets out, kills some more people. Batman takes him, brings
Why
him
not
back
just
in jail.
decapitate the clown?
Oh, he's been doing that for 50 years.
Right.
And the problem is 100 people have died. If I knew there was a pedophile killer on my neighborhood, and it was the 50th time he'd gotten out, I'd go pay that dude a visit. And if he happened to disappear, maybe people who are a lot more spiritual, that might be way more symbolic. I just have been working hard going, man, I need to lay down anyway. So I'm like, shoot, this is gonna be okay. I was pretty comfortable in there.
Death is why we're here to talk. I do think it's really important to normalize conversations about death and dying and just make it something that we can actually do in public. And I appreciate you being here to do it. The segment that we're now moving into is called Death Wish.
Death Wish.
And it's not about Charlie Bronson.
He was a vigilante too.
He was. On theme here. How would you like to die?
I'd like to die a free man. So early on, I left the establishments and I've railed against them my whole life, right? And that's, on my tomb, I want it to be, here lies Todd, he was free. I don't have the personality to work within the structures of sort of corporate government sort of mass thinking. Let me tell you, David, who I am. Everybody goes to the left, I go to the right. Do I think that the right's better than the left? Of course not. They go left, I go right. The moment they go right, I go left. You know why? I don't want to be part of the group. That's why I've never seen Cats, right? I won't go. It's true. I won't go there. So once everybody's done it, I am disinterested of being part of that group. When I give speeches to young kids, I go, the biggest enemy from my perspective, I think you're going to meet, status quo. People are going to defend yesterday with their lives, and I am more excited about tomorrow and the possibilities of tomorrow because we don't know what that's going to deliver. I took over Spiderman at Marvel when it was like at number 21, and they said, guys, do whatever you got to do, get the sales up. We drove it to number 1, to the point when Spider-Man number 1 came out, it set a record, right? And yet, every time I went into New York, I got called up to the office, and you know why? I was messing with the icon, right? And so all the things that I had done artistically that people were glomming to, that was the reason for the sales to go up, they gave me a goal, David. Sell more books. That was it. Everything else was white noise. You don't have to like me. You don't have to like the style. You don't have to like anything I do. All you have to do is like that I sell more books than anybody you employ. And that still was not good enough. I had to quit. I had to call uncle and I had to go off.
Todd doesn't just rock the boat, you build your own boat. And I love that about you. Now, you do things your own way.
Yep. And
when we're thinking about death and dying, have you ever thought about the way, because we all know how funerals usually go. Have you ever thought about how you would do yours? Is there anything, a little flair you throw in there?
David, I am like, you know, there's like spiritual people.
Yeah.
And then if you went to the other extreme, and then went about 5 miles, that'd be Todd, right? So I am ashes to ashes, dust to dust, right? And so let me tell you what that perspective gives me, right? Because nobody has told me that in the afterlife, which nobody knows, that you can touch and hold and squeeze, right? Right now, today, I get to actually hug my wife. I get to hold her hand. I get to hug my children. Nobody says you get to do that later on, right? So that means that this is as good as it gets. This is my heaven. I go to old folks' homes and they scare me straight, right? They accept the end. And my dad goes, just wait till you get there, Todd. And maybe I'll do it. But I am gonna fight. I got myself psyched out. I am gonna kick and scream to the bitter end.
That's so awesome. I love that.
I think love is an overused word.
Okay.
And my wife knows this. I save love for a select handful of people, right? And I never ever use that word anywhere else, right? And my wife, I know it drives her crazy because I just go, so I just want to be clear about this. You love me and you love pickles, right? And oh, by the way, I love your dress and I love your haircut. Like I go, what? I've given you 50 years of my life, and all of a sudden she gets a nice little bob cut, and you love her, and then again they give you that, well, it's a different kind of love. Then use a different word.
I love that.
Use it.
Whoops.
Yes.
But I want to ask you about, because you live for so much, you have so much life in you. Is there anything right now, this is a segment that we call Living for This. Is there anything you're working on personally or professionally that makes you feel really alive right now?
David, I'm always alive. Look, I never drank or did drugs or any of that, right? I never had any vices. Most of the reason was, not because I'm a saint, it's because all of that stuff cost money, and I had none when I was a kid.
Sure.
Right? So it's like all of a sudden they're like, how much are drugs? Shit, no. So and they're going, oh no, you acquire a taste for all the alcohol. Was it free? No. Well, I'm not drinking either then. Like, so it's not that I'm a saint, I just was poor. And then as life's gone by, it just makes it easier. The more times you say no, right?
Yep.
No big deal. My kids would ask me, they go, Dad, well, you don't drink, but like all the kids in school, they were like, wasn't like, how did that go? And it's like, I grew, in high school, I was up in Canada, right? And the way it works in Canada, when you come together for a party, right, everybody brings their beer and everything else, and then you divide it up, right? We're very kind up there. So no matter what, you just sort of divide it up amongst everybody.
Sure.
Once they found out that I didn't drink, then all of a sudden they're going, well, can I have your beer? And I'm like, yeah, sure, you can have my beer, right? You can do whatever else. And so I never, let me also say, I never looked down my nose at anybody that did whatever they did, right? I just go, look you accept me, warts and all, I'll accept you in return, right? Like, you don't judge me, I don't judge you, let's just go have fun. So I'd go to the parties, and at some point over time, every time I walked in, they go, it's Todd, I get his beer. I became a positive, right? And so, but my kids asked the question, which was, Dad, but wasn't it hard? And it was like, here's what I'm going to tell you, and this is true for almost anything. The first no is the hardest, and each one gets easier. And by the time you get to your 100th no, then you're okay. And next thing you know, you're 18 and you haven't done it, and now I'm 60. So it's like, what are you talking about? Like you got to have the courage to say no the first time, and then maybe 10 more times, and then it's not nearly as difficult. Now, what do I get up and get excited about? First off, the air in my lungs, right? Like, I got air in my lungs, today's a good day, right? Like, again, because I've got no afterlife, so I just suck this all up. But in all honesty, Dave, I'm getting a little bit old here, so I'm at this quandary where I'd like to wind down and focus and spend more time with my wife, and maybe go see the world, right? And just get curious about the globe.
Cool.
And then on a career end, I'd like to direct a movie.
You got
right?
it.
I just am a visual guy, and I just am dumb enough to think I can do it, right? I mean, I've done some directing, music videos and things like that. But I don't know. I think with a good DP, I could direct it. The intent was for me to write, produce, direct the Spawn movie, and I was going to do it. But we've sort of shifted in a different direction. But yeah, before I go to my grave, I'd like to direct. I'd like to direct a full-length feature.
I can't wait to see that movie.
Different's good. Don't do what everybody else is doing. They do what? Standing up interviews and sitting interviews? This is how it's done. There's going to be a new wave. It's cool.
Todd, thank you so fucking much for being here on Grave Conversations. This is one of our interviews that will go down in history. Before we bury the interview, we have one final thing that we ask all of our guests to do, and I'd be honored if you would please.
You want me to draw a Spiderman on this thing?
I do want you to draw Spiderman in a casket. I want you to do a cut. We should have a McFarlane exclusive Titan casket. Can you imagine? Oh my God, I know people would be buying those. No, I would love for you to give your own eulogy. It's spelled out Y-O-U.logy. So that means when I say die, you're gonna have 60 seconds to give your own eulogy. Like, you get to be in attendance at your own funeral. When I say die, you begin in 3, 2, 1, die.
All right, first off, I'd like to apologize for the kid a bit. But here's where I won't apologize for. He came out of the womb like that, ladies and gentlemen. There was never a moment that he wasn't Todd. He didn't grow into it. He didn't become it. The fire was in his belly the moment he came out of the womb. And if you doubt that, you should have asked his mom. He was faithful. He married his wife, Wanda, when she was 20. They started dating when he was 13. And he never had a side eye for any other girl. And he's gonna go to his grave being faithful to that woman to the day he dies. And for all the art that he did, he wasn't that good. He'd be the first to admit it. But what he did do is that he just tried the best he could with the tools he had that day, and he hustled. He advocated for himself.
Thank you. That was amazing. Time is up, and our time is up. That was incredible. I'll never forget that. Thank you so much, Todd. Thank you for sharing your time with me. Thank you for being with me today. Okay, bye.
Bye, David. I liked you a lot, dude. I didn't love you. I liked you a lot, though. Be good.